We'll be fragged for sure. Nobody's going down. Just keep your motion in check. We can't go home. You heard what happened to Owen? Yes, we can. Now get static. Oh, right. We didn't find any rebels, so we couldn't have let him go, right? No. We just stick a hand your head about this.
Crusader No Remorse was originally released on PC back in 1995 before being brought over to the PlayStation and SEGA Saturn in 1997. It is an overly gory and violent action game that worked extremely well on PC, but takes quite a long time to get used to on home console. Naturally, you're looking at the Saturn version, as today is Saturn Day after all, and I'm happy to report that once you get the hang of the controls, you'll be in store for a really excellent action game. Just take note that the controls truly are complex. As you can see right away, the game looks and sounds quite nice. I like the graphics, I like the camera angle, I like pretty much everything about this game. You play as the Silencer, who joins the Resistance against the World Economic Consortium. You're tasked with taking on missions for the Resistance in a unique isometric environment. Each stage has a ton of secret locations and things to interact with. And speaking of the environment, just about everything you see can be blown up, which is where much of the fun comes into play. You might be told to go find a secret file, but no one said you couldn't destroy everything in your path while you did so. There are so many different elements to Crusader, I don't even know where to begin in terms of all the different options available. You can send out a robot drone to take out an unsuspecting enemy, use health packs, hack into enemy droids to take out evil engineers, or read emails that contain some rather hilarious early forms of spam email. It's all great stuff and comes together perfectly. The biggest problem is what I mentioned earlier, the controls. Every single button on the SEGA Saturn pad has multiple functions. So for example, if you wanted to use a healing item, you need to press R plus A. Want to send out a drone? That's done with R and B. And the list goes on, and believe me, it takes hours to get used to, which many people will not like, or won't even bother with. And that's a shame too, because not every combination needs to be memorized. In fact, once you get the core basics down, there's a ton of fun to be had here. There are also multiple configurations to the controls, and I found that movement worked best with the classic Resident Evil tank controls for some reason. The rest of the controls simply require time to get used to. In order to interact with objects in the environment, including downed enemies, you need to scan the area, which is done with the R button. Then you can interact with the item with the L button. And that's a core control you absolutely need to master early on. I should also warn you about something I completely forgot, and that is you need to shut down alarms prior to interacting with safes or locked areas, because otherwise you can't input codes. That's another gameplay element this game reuses quite often actually, reading computer terminals to find access codes and then inputting those codes into locked safes or doors in order to gain access to new areas or items. It's the fun the action provides that will keep you coming back for more though, and fun this game most certainly is. If this looks interesting to you, I've got some good news for you. The game only costs around $20 or so for a complete copy on eBay. So if you're willing to brave the controls and are looking for an interesting game that features a lot of exploration, fun action, an interesting storyline, and tons of cheesy as hell FMV scenes, then you could do a lot worse than Crusader No Remorse.
First, let me say welcome to the Resistance, Captain. I'm sure you realize that Central thinks you're a spy. But I've reviewed your debriefing tapes, and I have a hunch that I understand what makes you tick. Enough so that I've persuaded Central to give you a chance. One shot, to prove your sudden change of heart. You are to spearhead an attack to take a consortium refinery offline, permanently. An informant will meet you there and provide you with a security card that will allow you entrance into the facility. Your principal objective is the thermal coupler on the 4th level. Once you have placed the pack, one of our extraction specialists will contact you with coordinates of the nearest teleport pad we can commandeer. Consult your data link if you have any further questions. Good luck. Maxis out.